Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back again and welcome to another video, and it is update time once again. Got a bunch of movies to show you guys, plus I also picked up a new mask. So we'll take a quick look at that first. And as you can see, it is an evil pumpkin carved style mask. I love pumpkin masks, I think they look absolutely awesome. And when I came across this at a discount store, I couldn't resist, had to pick it up. And for a mass-produced mask, it's really comfortable to wear. I think it looks pretty awesome, and it's got some really nice detail on it. I think for a cheap mask, it looks pretty awesome, looks pretty creepy, and I definitely had to add this one to the collection. So extremely happy with that purchase. I'm probably going to display it at some point, but yeah, had to pick it up, couldn't leave it. Alright, now moving on to the movies. So I did another Amazon order, picked up 3 new release things, also picked up a ton of stuff locally, but they're not all going to be in this update because I haven't seen everything yet. There will be probably 2 more updates before the end of the month, so stay on the lookout for that. But anyway, on to the movies. First up, my one and only DVD is Shiver. This is a brand new release. It came out, I think, about a week and a half ago now, 2 weeks. Stars Danielle Harris and John Jarratt. Those are the 2 reasons that I picked this movie up. I'm a massive fan of both of those people. Danielle Harris, everyone knows her, and I was extremely impressed with her in this movie. Probably one of her best roles to date. John Jarratt was also really good. For those who don't know who he is, he played the serial killer in Wolf Creek, which is a fantastic Australian horror movie. He played a similar character in this one. This is a serial killer, sort of slasher-esque style movie, and it centres around John Jarratt's character, the Griffin, who targets a bunch of young women and beheads them, and keeps their heads in jars. He meets Danielle Harris's character and basically intends for her to be his next victim. However, she puts up a strong fight and basically he falls in love with her and wants to keep her as a prized possession. Obviously she doesn't want that, so throughout the movie she's trying to escape. There's a couple of detectives as well that are also on the case trying to track him down, and that's essentially the movie. I really didn't know what to expect going into this one. Being a brand new film, I knew pretty much nothing about it apart from the synopsis and the couple of basic Amazon reviews that I read, which honestly you can only really take with a grain of salt. This one was a nice, pleasant surprise. I thought it was really well done. As I said before, Danielle Harris was fantastic in this one. John Jarratt was really good. However, the accent kind of got a little bit off at some points throughout the movie. He is an Australian actor, obviously, and he had to put on an American accent for this film. For the most part, he does a really good job, but there are certain parts throughout the movie where his accent is a little bit off. It kind of irks me when Australian actors and actresses star in American movies and they're forced to put on an American accent, because for the most part, it doesn't really work. But I mean, it didn't really take anything away from the movie or his character, but it definitely was noticeable in some scenes. But all up though, great movie. I highly recommend this one if you're a fan of serial killer movies, Danielle Harris or John Jarratt, or sort of slasher-esque style movies. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Maniac. Nowhere near as good though, but definitely recommend Shiver. It was really good. Alright, moving on to the Blu-rays, and like a lot of you, I picked up the Chucky Complete collection. Had to pick this one up. It was actually one of the most anticipated Blu-ray releases of the year, and this is a fantastic box set. I'm very impressed with the packaging. It's a digi-style packaging. The discs are housed really well, and the artwork is really good. There's a couple of pretty awesome images of Chucky there as well. All in all, extremely happy with the quality of this box set. It was really well put together. So massive thumbs up there. In terms of the movies, I'm a massive fan of the first three. Child's Play was the very first horror movie that I saw. Child's Play 2 is my favourite out of the entire franchise. I love it. Bride and Seed, the less we talk about that, the better. However, I do need to rewatch Bride because I've only seen it once, and that was when it first came out. So it'll be interesting to see if I hate it just as much. Seed, I never want to watch again. I watched it once for half an hour, and that was more than enough. I had to turn it off. Curse, fantastic addition to the franchise, I thought. Wasn't quite as blown away as I was expecting to be by it, but it was really, really good. They did a fantastic job linking the story with the first three movies, I will say that. I was very impressed with that aspect. Child's Play 2, I have checked it out on Blu-ray, and the transfer was excellent. It definitely surpassed my expectations. It looks great. I will be checking out Child's Play 3 at some point to see what that's like. But all in all, if you're a Chucky or Child's Play fan, I definitely recommend this set. Alright, moving on to my final Amazon order, and that is World War Z. Decided to go with the American release because A, it was a lot cheaper, and B, it came out a couple of weeks before we get it over here in Australia. I've been wanting to watch this movie for some time now, never got around to seeing it in theatre. I'm not even sure if my local theatre actually had this showing. Can't remember. This was a fantastic zombie style movie, and it's extremely different to any other zombie movie that I've ever seen before. In fact, it's pretty much gore free, which you wouldn't really think would work in a zombie film, but trust me, it works extremely well in this movie. I loved how they took a different approach to the genre. Certainly something that they needed to do, I think, because a lot of zombie movies are pretty similar, but this one is really different. It doesn't really focus on a group of civilians held up in a certain location for the entire film trying to fend off the zombies. It's very different to that. Basically, it's more of a story of how the zombie virus first originated and what certain characters are sent out to do to put a stop to it and try and find a cure for it, or at least find a way that the general public aren't going to be constantly attacked. Yeah, I loved it. Brad Pitt was fantastic as the main character, and I really liked how there were different locations throughout the movie. You know, it didn't just centre on one location. He pretty much travelled to several different countries, which I really, really liked. But if you are a zombie fan and you're looking for something completely different, I definitely recommend World War Z. It was awesome. Non-stop action from start to finish. Alright, moving on to a local pickup. We have ParaNorman. Now, I picked this one up from Sanity. It's recently been added in their 4 for $50 Blu-ray deal. The three other movies I will not be showing in this update because I have not seen them yet, but they will be in my next update. I've been wanting to see this for a while now. I'm a little bit hit and miss with animated films, but because this one was horror themed, I definitely wanted to check it out. I had a great time with this one. This was pretty cool. The animation style was amazing. Very similar to Coraline, but it just looked absolutely incredible. Visually absolutely stunning. The character of Norman I really, really enjoyed as well. Basically, he could see ghosts, and throughout the movie he ended up unleashing a bunch of zombies onto his town, and it was sort of about him, one of his friends, and his family trying to put a stop to the curse, basically. Reminded me a lot of the Monster Squad. It definitely had similarities to that film, very similar feel to the Monster Squad. So if you are a fan of that movie, I think you'd enjoy this one quite a bit. Now, as I said, you know, I'm not a massive fan of animated films, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. Definitely up there with some of my favourite animated movies. There were some nice little horror nods throughout as well. Norman had a Halloween themed ringtone on his phone, which was awesome, and there was a nice little nod to Friday the 13th as well at one point. But definitely recommend this. Surprisingly, it was very mature as well. not really geared at the kiddies too much with this one. It took a more mature approach with its storyline, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, definitely recommend ParaNorman. It was really good. And last but certainly not least, we have VHS. This was awesome. I love this one a lot. It was a big surprise for me. I've been wanting to see it for a while, but all the sort of mostly negative things I've heard about the movie really put me off. I am a fan of anthologies, and yeah, this one definitely was really good. I loved the whole wraparound story with the VHS tapes. However, it does end abruptly. I kind of wish that they had had a better ending with the wraparound story. The short movies in this one, the anthology stories, were all really good, which surprised me, because normally with anthologies there's one or two that I don't really like, but it wasn't the case with this one. I enjoyed them all. My favourites would have been the last three, the slasher one. I really enjoyed the Skype/webcam segment. That was extremely well done, and I loved the last segment when they were in the haunted house during Halloween. That was pretty cool. But all in all, this is really good. As I said, I love the VHS tape wraparound story, and highly recommend VHS if you have not seen it. I went with the UK release because out of the three major releases, the US, the UK and the Australian, this is my favourite artwork. Pretty cool. But yeah, if you haven't checked out VHS, you've been put off by the negative things you've heard about it. Don't let that put you off. I highly recommend this one. I loved it. Alright guys, that has been my update. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of my pickups, and thank you for watching.